This presentation is about turning chaos into control, not through motivation, hustle, or working longer hours, but through strategy. Most people feel overwhelmed not because they are lazy or incapable, but because they are operating without a system. Their time is fragmented, their energy is drained, and their days feel reactive instead of intentional. Productivity Accelerator exists to solve that problem. It is a strategic framework designed to help you master your time, eliminate drift, and intentionally design a life of eudaimonia, a life where your health, your wealth, and your relationships improve together instead of competing for attention. This is not about doing more. It is about doing what actually matters. The silent enemy, drift. Drift is the silent enemy of success. Drift is not failure. Drift is the space between where you intended to go and where you actually end up. It happens slowly, quietly, and without dramatic collapse. Most people live in a constant state of reaction. They respond to notifications, emails, demands, and emergencies all day long. This creates a feedback loop of exhaustion without advancement. You feel busy, but nothing meaningful changes. Intentional progress looks different. Instead of reacting, you move toward a defined target. Instead of sprinting in place, every step compounds. The difference between these two states is not effort, it is direction. The hidden cost of unsuccess. The most dangerous cost in life is not failure, it is stagnation. People are very good at calculating the cost of risk, but they rarely calculate the cost of staying the same. Over time, comfort and routine quietly create debt across every area of life. Financially, you lose compound growth. Physically, you accumulate health debt and energy deficits. Emotionally, self-trust erodes as promises to yourself go unkept. Relationally, bonds weaken due to constant busyness and distraction. Unsuccess does not arrive through dramatic collapse. It arrives through slow, unnoticed erosion. And the longer you delay change, the higher the price becomes. Pillar 1, vision. Defining eudaimonia. Success is not a single number. You cannot move toward a future you cannot imagine, and you cannot sustain progress toward a vision you do not believe in. That is why clarity comes first. Eudaimonia represents human flourishing. It exists at the intersection of health, wealth, and relationships. Remove one, and the system collapses. You can have money without health, but it will not last. You can have health without connection, but it will feel empty. A durable vision acts as an internal compass. It constantly corrects your course and informs your decisions, even when motivation fades. Pillar 2, identity, rewriting the script. You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your beliefs. Most people attempt to change behavior without changing identity. They say things like, I am bad with money, or I am a procrastinator, and then wonder why progress feels impossible. Behavior change without identity change does not last. To change your life, you must change the I am statement you operate from. When you shift from I am bad with money to I am an investor, your decisions change. When you shift from I procrastinate to I am disciplined, your actions align. Identity is the operating system behind every habit. Pillar 3, time value, your finite currency. Time is your most limited resource, and yet it is treated as infinite. When you define your desired annual income and divide it by your desired working hours, you create an aspirational hourly rate. This rate becomes a decision-making filter. If your time is worth $100 an hour, then spending 2 hours on low-leverage activity costs you $200. Scrolling, distraction, and busy work are not neutral. They are financial losses. When you treat time as currency, priorities become clearer. High-leverage tasks become obvious. Low-leverage behavior becomes unacceptable. The engine. The 3 constants. Talent is unreliable. Motivation is inconsistent. These 3 constants are within your control. Grit is persevering through discomfort when progress feels slow. Consistency is the compound interest of effort applied daily. Iteration is the ability to treat failure as data instead of a verdict. And without them, even the best plans collapse. The 3P method. The good intentions are not enough. The 3P method is a cyclical operating system designed to bridge the gap between vision and reality. First, you prioritize by deciding what matters most. Then you plan by scheduling the commitment. Finally, you produce by executing with deep, focused work. After execution, you review and iterate. The cycle repeats. This system removes guesswork and replaces chaos with structure. It does not rely on motivation, it relies on process. P1, prioritize. Doing less, winning more busyness does not equal worth. Most people face infinite options every day. Without filters, everything feels important. Prioritization means intentionally narrowing focus to the vital few. Using the Pareto principle, you identify the 20% of actions that produce 80% of outcomes. Everything else becomes noise. If an opportunity is not a clear hell, yes, it is a no. This filter protects your time, your energy, and your momentum. Doing less is not laziness. It is leverage. P2, plan. Designing days that can't fail. If it's not on the calendar, it's just a wish. Planning is not about writing a to-do list. Planning is about designing a day that succeeds even when motivation is low. Every day begins with defining 3 wins, not 10, not everything. 3 outcomes that, if completed, make the day a success. Time blocking turns intention into commitment. You assign work to specific blocks based on energy, not convenience. Deep work is protected, shallow work is contained. Time doubling prevents cascading failure. Whatever you think a task will take, double it. And implementation intentions remove friction by deciding in advance how you will respond when obstacles appear. P3, produce, execution, and deep work. Execution is where most people collapse. They wait until they feel ready. They overthink. They chase perfection. But clarity does not come from thinking. It comes from action. Scattered effort looks busy but produces little. Focused effort compounds. Deep work requires eliminating distraction, batching similar tasks, and protecting uninterrupted time. Perfectionism is not a strength. It is a delay tactic. The feedback loop, iteration. Success rarely follows a straight line. When chaos appears, most people interpret it as failure. In reality, chaos is data. You take action. You measure what actually happened. You reflect during a weekly review. Then you adjust the plan based on reality, not emotion. Iteration turns mistakes into leverage. Failure is not a verdict. It is information. The path to peak productivity. Peak productivity is not about doing more. It is about becoming more. Internally, it starts with vision, identity, and respect for time as currency, powered by prioritizing, planning, and producing. And it is sustained by grit, consistency, and iteration. When these elements work together, productivity becomes sustainable instead of exhausting. This system works because it is grounded in reality. People like Jessica reclaimed 15 hours per week by eliminating low-impact work and launching meaningful projects. People like Sarah realigned success with fulfillment and built wealth without sacrificing purpose. These results are not accidents. They are the outcome of intentional time management. And this is where the decision matters. Time management is the separator between people who win and people who quietly lose. The winners control their time, attention, and energy. Everyone else stays reactive. When you do not manage your time intentionally, life manages it for you. Days fill with urgency. Years pass without progress. That is how people lose in life, slowly and invisibly. If you are done drifting, I want to invite you to work with me one-on-one through my Success Fast Track coaching. Your first month is completely free. 1 full month of coaching to fast track your success before you pay a single penny. During that time, we build your personal system, eliminate distractions, and lock in priorities that actually move the needle. This is not motivation. This is execution. If you keep doing what you are doing now, your results will not change. But if you master your time, everything improves. Your income grows, your health stabilizes, your relationships deepen. Momentum replaces stress. The cost of inaction is always higher than the cost of change. Apply using the link provided. Claim your free month. Take control of your time before it slips away.